So everything you just heard came directly from this guitar. No amp, no cables. Everything came from this little speaker right here. This guitar is the Nova Go Sonic by Enya Music Global. They've kindly sent me this guitar to review, so in this video I'll give you guys my thoughts on it as well as show you what it can do. In terms of what it is, it's a Bluetooth-enabled electric guitar with a built-in speaker, meaning you can play electric guitar sounds from wherever you want. The Bluetooth element allows you to manipulate the guitar's sound via your smartphone through the Enya Music app. On the app, you can cycle between some different amp sims, you can add some guitar effects like chorus, delay, reverb, and in general, you can use it for tone shaping. You can also plug this guitar into a conventional guitar amp, there's an input for that, or if you're on the go, you can also plug into headphones. With that being said, let's get into a few more demos so we can hear how this speaker sounds. Let's talk about how we can change our guitar tone using our smartphone through the Enya Music app. The first thing you can see here is we've got a bunch of different presets, and we're on the clean channel right now, just using the same tone I played for you guys a second ago. But if we go under the hood, we can see how it works. So we have this amp sim, and we've got our volume, our master, and our EQ. We also have a few quote-unquote pedals, like an EQ pedal. We've got a modulation, noise reduction, delay, and reverb. So this reverb pedal is activated right now, and you can see we've got a level and decay knob which we can play with. If I, for example, increase the level of the reverb, you can really hear it. If we play around with the delay, this is going to be a very reverby sound. Now if we want to go back, we can just hit cancel, and this won't save any of the modifications we just did. For the next preset, we have this modulation sound. So this is just another clean tone with a little bit of chorus. So if we take a look at it, we can go to this pedal here, and you can see the rate and the depth. I can increase this. And if I do, we're going to get a pretty zany sound here, which is pretty funny. I can increase the depth. Sounds pretty nuts. Let's reset it back to something more reasonable here. And let me show you how you can add a pedal to your effects chain. So let's say I want to add this delay. So we can just click on this and swipe down. And now we should have some delay sound. If you want to play around with the feedback and the level, that will increase the effect. So let's see. So I think the delay sounds on this sound pretty good. It's like pretty lush. Anyways, let's go back, and now let's look at the Overdrive channel. So the first preset I want to show you guys in the Overdrive channel is just a clean Overdrive sound. Another good one here is this chorus preset. So it's very similar. It just has a little bit of chorus applied to it. And last but not least, we have this distortion channel that I want to show you. So I like this effect here called chonk. So it sounds like this. And if we just go under the hood, we can see we've got a different amp sim now. The 100 distortion, we have an EQ pedal, and a little bit of noise reduction. So I want to show you guys a more close-up example of this sound. So here's a riff I wrote in D-Add9 tuning. Check it out. There's one last thing I want to show you guys that relates to tones, and it has to do with this button right here. So if I just play, I'm on the clean channel, but if I click this button, this is actually a way to change tones without using the app. So now I'm on the Overdrive channel, and whatever preset I set as the kind of the default for that channel. If I hit it one more time, now I'm on the distortion channel. And last but not least, this is going to be very loud. Now we're on the high gain distortion channel. And we're back to clean. So I think this is a great little feature. It's nice to be able to change channels without having to use the app, though I would recommend getting into the app as much as you can if you want that customization. In this next segment, let's talk about my thoughts on the guitar. So we'll talk about what I think it does well, and also what are some areas where it could maybe be improved. For this discussion, these are just my unfiltered thoughts, so I'm being as honest as I can, and hopefully that will help you decide whether you actually want to pick one of these up or not. When I first played it, I was really surprised by how good the speaker sounds. So it's a really rich sound, it really feels like I'm playing out of an amp. And the speaker position is also really nice too. Usually when I play to an amp that's right in front of me, so for whatever reason, because the speaker is placed right here, it gives that effect, so sometimes I'll actually forget that I'm not playing out of an amp. Adding to that, I feel like the build quality is pretty good, or also exceeded my expectations. It's a very solid feeling guitar. I mean, for a mid-range price point instrument, I think it really matches other kind of instruments in this range in terms of playability. Like, it's not perfect, but it feels pretty good. Adding to my commentary on the speaker, I think another thing that's really impressive is just like the depth of the tone. So I really feel like there's a lot of frequencies that are present, like it has a really good bass response. It's also really bright and shiny too, so that's all really nice. Like it feels like I'm playing out of something that actually is an amp rather than just like a small speaker. Now in terms of volume of the speaker, I feel like that's another area where the guitar shines. It seems to me that the guitar gets loud enough that you could reasonably busk with it, maybe play a small gig, or if you just want to practice outside too, it's definitely loud enough to do that. In terms of the quality of the effects and the app, I think the effects are pretty good, at least to me. The reverb, for example, is pretty lush, and I think it sounds pretty legit. The delay and the chorus sounds also sound pretty good too, and I quite like the distortion, especially like the chalk setting that I was playing on earlier. The overdrive maybe leaves a little bit to be desired, but overall I think it's pretty good. And in terms of the app is pretty easy to use and the UI is good. Let's talk about some areas where there's some room for improvement on the Novago Sonic. First off, I wish there was an onboard tone selector. So if we look at some of the knobs that currently exist, we have the volume knob, we have our pickup selector, and we have our channel selector. But I wish there was a tone knob so that we could roll off some of the highs without having to go into the app. A second area for improvement would be the neck shape. So I think the guitar plays pretty well and is pretty comfortable, generally speaking, but this isn't really my favorite neck shape personally. I feel like it's a little bit kind of wide and thick and feels maybe more similar to something like a classical guitar, or maybe even like a really wide acoustic guitar. So maybe something that was similar to the neck profile of just sort of a conventional Fender guitar would be nice. But that being said, it's still playable. I just wish the neck shape was a little more ergonomic, especially for somebody with smaller hands. Next up, I want to talk in general about the body shape. So for me, as a math rock Midwest emo guy, a Les Paul design really isn't my favorite. There's a couple like ergonomic things with it, which I find to be a little bit frustrating. Like it's quite neck heavy compared to something like a Telecaster. Also, just the body design makes it quite awkward to sit down and play. Like I wish there was just a little more length here. So when I'm sitting, I basically have to wear a strap. And if I don't have a strap, then I find that I'm like really hunched over. I mean, that's just sort of part of the Les Paul design. It's just sort of generally a little bit uncomfortable. On the Les Paul point, to be fair, Enya does make a Stratocaster style guitar called the Inspire, but it's at a significantly higher price point. What I would really like to see though are just different versions of the Novago Sonic where you can get it as say a Telecaster or a Stratocaster. That would just give you a few more options when you're purchasing. One other area that directly affects math rock players is where the strap is placed on this guitar. So if you're doing any kind of two-hand tapping, this strap placement basically runs into your right hand. So when I'm playing this line right here, as I'm tapping, my thumb is jamming against my strap. So I wish the strap placement was maybe just behind the neck or just placed somewhere where it's not interfering with my right hand if I want to do any kind of extended technique. Finally, one last thing that you guys should be aware of are some feedback issues, specifically on the low E string. So for example, if I play a note like B flat, sometimes this can feedback and accelerate in sound instead of dying out. It's not a huge deal, but it's something you should be aware of. So who is this guitar for? Well, first off, it's for anybody who's on the go and wants to play electric guitar sounds, hence the name Nova Go. So like an acoustic guitar, you can take this and just kind of play wherever it is you want. But again, the special feature of this is that you can play electric guitar wherever it is you want. And the app as well makes it so that you can modify those sounds and you just have a lot of different options. Another great application of the Nova Go Sonic is for anybody who's in music school. So when I went to school, I had to carry around with me an electric guitar as well as a little 5-watt practice amp. But if I had something like the Nova Go Sonic, at the time, I would have had to carry a lot less in my backpack. Also, because you can plug this into an amp, that means that you can basically jam with anybody. So if you're playing along with somebody who's like a drummer, well, if you plug into an amp, then the Nova Go Sonic is perfectly loud enough for that. So once again, for music students, this is the perfect guitar. Alright folks, so there you have it. Those are my thoughts on the Enya Nova Go Sonic. And once again, thank you so much to Enya Music Global for sending me the guitar. I had so much fun reviewing this, practicing on it, and writing stuff on it. I'm definitely going to keep using it in the future. Anyways, if you liked the video, then please make sure to like, share, and subscribe. And if you want to support the channel, then be sure to check out my Patreon page. I post stuff on there all the time. Anyways, thank you again for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye. Hey, if you made it this far, here's a little bonus footage for you of me playing in the park with the Nova Go. Enjoy.